Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special Reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I bring on a guest that I had on the past, and I liked them so much I had to bring him right on back. So today's guest is Barry Wolfe, and he is Senior Managing Director at Marcus Millichap. Barry, welcome back to the show.
I appreciate it. It's awesome. A reunion tour. So, great to be back with you.
Oh, man. Happy 2020. We're back at it. I'm excited. So I'm excited to get into today's topic. I mean, you're the guy I want to talk to you about this. So real estate market outlook, 2020, some things that you're seeing on the horizon. But before we get into that, I want to, we had a very blessed year on the podcast. Don't want to assume that all of our new listeners caught the first episode. So let's just start with what you're doing over at Marcus Millichap.
Yes, I sell investment real estate properties. So we don't sell residential properties. I sell investment properties, largely single-tenant type properties. You sell these QSR, the restaurants all over where we all live, the drugstores, banks, things like that. So we sell those all over the country. We sold over $300 million of those sort of properties last year in 2019. It was a great year. And we also sell some number of shopping centers. Those a little bit more regionally and throughout the state of Florida. So we, fortunately on the single tenant side, as far as commercial real estate, we've got a national practice and we sell those properties all over the nation.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think that's also a great transition. So obviously you had a great 2019. What kind of things are you seeing on the real estate horizon for 2020? Let's get into it.
Yeah, I mean, 2019 was a fantastic year for commercial real estate and real estate in general. And I think that's going to continue for 2020. All the signs are there for a very bullish environment for commercial real estate. We've got a very low interest rate environment. There's been a little bit of a headbutting going on in 2019 between the president and the Fed Chair Jerome Powell. And that, whether it was handled the right way, the wrong way or not, I mean, that created a very low interest rate environment. We're in an election year, obviously, a presidential election year. So I think we're going to see interest rates continue to be very low throughout 2020, and if things stay the same on the presidential course, and that's not looking to get political whatsoever, I think we're going to probably continue to see a low interest rate environment going forward for the next several years. If the Democrats win, we'll just kind of have to wait and see who that candidate is and how what their plan is, and how that might impact the interest rate environment going forward into 2021 and beyond. But where we are right now, things are quite positive on the real estate front.
Man, so I got to ask this question, and I know there's a lot of things that may do this, but what just excites you for real estate in 2020? And I know your whole market, I know you love it all, but what's that thing that just gets you up in the morning? You're like, oh, these are some interesting deals that have the potential of happening.
Oh, it's a really interesting question. What would probably be the most interesting thing and exciting thing, I sell largely retail properties. So I'm really immersed and have been since the basically 1990. My life, as far as from a professional life, has been eating, living, breathing the retail market. So you go back, when I first started the 90s, that was really pre-internet and certainly pre-Amazon. So it was very different than it is today. And we're in a quickly changing environment. Retail is evolving at almost the speed of light. Obviously, we read you read every day in the newspapers about some retailers that are not surviving and certainly not thriving, but there are others that are kind of up and comers, and some traditional retail that are also doing quite well. Some restaurants and just general commercial retail, hard goods that are doing well. It's just such a quickly changing environment that it really is exciting to follow and see what's working and what's not working, frankly.
No, I love it, and that's why I had to ask that question to you, because I'm like, I know you're, if I may, I know you're old school retail. You've been doing realty retail for a long time. You put a lot of retailers in their place in properties, and I'm like, so what kind of things would get Barry excited? So thank you for answering that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you've got to watch Amazon. I mean, it's interesting. There's a lot of changes still, that have happened, and a lot of evolution that will be happening over the coming years.
Any interesting concepts, whether you may not have represented, you may have represented, just interesting concepts that you're seeing out there, and specifically, of course, in your niche, retail, whether it's just whether it's you represent or otherwise, that you've just seen in the marketplace that you're like, oh, this is kind of a unique slant or a different take on retail?
I mean, I think we're seeing, I'd say some of the changes we're seeing, and I don't know these are a unique slant, but like Chipotle rolling out their Chipotlanes, they call them, which are not your traditional drive-through we're used to, where you drive up to your serve and you place your order to the speaker box. It's all ordering on through their app online, and you just drive up and pick up. You can't even place an order. You can't go order a burrito in their Chipotlanes. I think that's kind of interesting, and I think we're going to see that sort of evolution continue. I mean, I discussed with folks. I mean, could Outback Steakhouse as a just total example? Could they be rolling out drive-through in the next couple of years, where again, not you drive up and place your bloomin' onion order, but you've already placed that order online or on your phone, more likely mobile. And it's just, we were seeing so much with to-go and ghost kitchens, if you're familiar with that term, evolution in the restaurant sector. I mean, that could be a podcast episode in itself, just talking about the evolution in restaurant sector. So I think that's something that's exciting to see that. Again, on the restaurant side, IHOP is coming out with a new concept that's more of an inline, like in strip centers, much smaller than a traditional freestanding restaurants that are going to be quick serve and not really sit down and dine, more to go oriented. Those are a couple of changes we've seen and evolutions that are pretty exciting, at least in our business.
That's awesome. No, and you said not exciting, not however you said it. No, I completely disagree with you. For you live it, so that your mind wasn't just blown. My mind was blown. I'm in California, in Santa Monica, and I've never even heard of a Chipotlane. I'm like, what? I can just order and I can't even. I'm like, that's amazing. I want to go to a Chipotlane. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're rolling those out nationally. And where you are in SoCal, we're seeing a lot of these. We're calling them ghost kitchens or virtual kitchens, or you don't go there and sit down and eat, but it's all about kind of restaurants getting together in a number of different restaurants in one box, and it's all about delivery. So there's just a lot of changes happening in the retail space and certainly in the restaurant sector in general, too.
Man, that's exciting. Well, hey, Barry, I could talk to you about this all day long, and I'm like, but I know you're a busy guy, so really appreciate you coming on the show today. If somebody's listening, by the way, and they want more information, I know you work specifically in retail, big box brands. What's the best way for them to follow up and to learn information?
We've got a website, wolferetailgroup.com, and a great way really to interact is I'm very active on LinkedIn, just linkedin.com, just search Barry Wolfe, CRE is my handle, and love to engage with people there. We're able actually online kind of dialogue with each other back and forth and jump on calls with a lot of folks too. So those would be a couple of great ways.
That's awesome. Well, again, thanks again for coming on the show, Barry. You never disappoint. I already know I'm going to be tapping you on the shoulder for our family reunion 2021. Come on, Barry. I want to hear what's going on in retail next year. So thanks again for coming on the show. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching this YouTube channel, Money Matters Top Tips, then don't forget, subscribe to that. But more importantly, leave us some comments. I'd like to hear what your thoughts on the retail market in real estate and what you think is going to happen in 2020. And thanks again, Barry, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.